Hello guys, my name is Jay Agarwal. I'm 18 years old and I'm a young teen who's a football fanatic. I've been following football since the last 7 years and I've barely missed a game. I'm going to be talking about football as well as other things that are close to my heart in this YouTube channel, Kick It In. So let's begin and let's kick it in. It's time for Premier League predictions for the 21-22 season. Keep in mind that these are early predictions and it could all change as the transfer window is still open. From the early indications, I still think that Watford will not be able to survive in the Premier League. Despite having the likes of Ismaila Sarr and having a very good youth system, I don't think Watford do have the financial means to compete with the rest of the Premier League. That's why I've put them in 20th position and relegated back to the EFL Championship. Next, I have Norwich City. Norwich City, another promoted club that, yes, does have some good players like Adam Ida, and selling the likes of their best players like Emi Buendia, I don't think they'll be able to compete financially with the rest of the Premier League. And I don't think that their quality in their squad is enough to compete with the rest of the Premier League. For the last team to get relegated, I've got Burnley. And I know Burnley have survived in the Premier League for very long, but I just think that this is the last time for poor old Burnley in the Premier League for some time, and I think that they will finally go down. At 17th place and barely surviving, I think Brentford will survive the Premier League battle and they will survive in the Premier League, but they will narrowly escape relegation. At 16th place, I've got, guess what, a very big surprise in Southampton Football Club. Despite having the likes of Ralph Hasenhüttl as manager, I just think that they will not be able to compete with the other teams financially this year and that they will not be able to do really well. Despite having the specialist free kick taker James Ward-Prowse, having other players like Danny Ings who might even be sold this summer, I don't think they will be able to do really well this year. Next up, at 14th place, I have Wolves. Unfortunately for them, I don't think Bruno Lage will be able to do a good job at Wolves in his first season adapting to the Premier League. Next up, at 14th position, I have the mighty old Leeds United. After coming back to the Premier League, I think this season will take a toll on them, but they will still survive and survive very well in the Premier League. However, they will not exceed expectations by finishing in the top 10. Next up, I have Crystal Palace at 13th position. Despite being a very big fan of Patrick Vieira, I don't think he has the experience to guide this team to a more than 13th place finish. Next up, at 12th position, a team I think will over exceed is Brighton and Hove Albion. I think Graham Potter is a really good manager despite his tactics being a little bit questionable by a few people. I think he will do a good job and he will finish 12th in the Premier League. And I think that's an overachievement for Brighton and Hove Albion. Next up, I have Newcastle United. And I just think Steve Bruce is going to do wonders this season. If Joe Willock comes back from Arsenal on loan again, I think that's going to boost his chances of finishing in the top 10. But I think he'll narrowly miss out on the top 10 by barely a few points. But I think Joe Willock, the likes of even Joe Linton, to do well, I think, this year. And I also think Alan St. Maximin being in full fitness for the whole season will really help them. Next up in 10th place, I think Dean Smith Aston Villa would have done a good job to finish 10th, even though they did finish well this year as well. I just think that they'll carry on their progress and the new signings, Emi Buendia and a few more that they get in will do well, but 10th is good enough for Dean Smith Aston Villa, and I just think that's where they'll finish. Next up, a big surprise. I think Leicester City are going to underachieve this season and finish 9th. Because they're in Europe, I think that will take a toll on them. And they'll have midweek fixtures as well as fixtures in the weekend. And I think the squad size will make a difference to their Premier League season and their overall finish in the end. And I think they're going to finish 9th. Next up, in 8th place, I have West Ham United. I think West Ham, being in Europe, again, that will take a toll on them. But I just think that West Ham are going to overachieve again this season. And if they can get Lingard back on another loan, I think they could do wonders. Next up, I have Tottenham Hotspurs. I think Tottenham Hotspurs signed a good manager. I think Nuno Espirito Santos is actually a good manager. And I think what he did with Wolves is very commendable. That's why I think they'll finish 7th. If Harry Kane leaves, Heung-min Son's decision could be vital. and Harry Kane leaving will take a toll on them. But I think they'll do fine and finish 7th, and that's alright because they're Spurs at the end. That's me being an Arsenal fan, but anyways. On 6th position, I have Everton. I think, honestly, whatever you say about Rafael Benitez, he has a proven record, and I think he's going to overachieve. People are talking about the fact that they could sign the likes of Kalidou Koulibaly, and if that happens, I think they're definitely going to do really well. And that's why I feel like they'll finish in the European spots in the Europa League, 6th place. Next up, on 5th place, is my club, Arsenal. I think Mikel Arteta is not a bad manager, don't get me wrong, but I just think finishing more than 5th with this squad will not be possible unless the Cronkies give him a good amount of money to spend. And I don't think that's going to happen. Signing the likes of Ben White, promising, very promising. Signing very cool midfielders like Albert Sambi Lokonga and signing a really good backup left back in Nuno Tavares already makes them look very ambitious for this window. But I think 5th place is their heights because the other teams in the Premier League are going to be much better than them this season because of their squads and because of the amount of quality players they have. So that's why I think Arsenal will finish 5th. Next up, starting off the top 4, I have a surprise, a very big surprise for you all. Something that I don't think I'm going to get a lot of good for, but I think Liverpool are going to finish 4th. The reason I think Liverpool are going to finish 4th is because I just think that Virgil van Dijk recovering from his injury, Joe Gomez coming back from his injury, and being in Champions League, and I think Liverpool squad isn't that big, even though people do say that their squad isn't good enough to compete in both the competitions. I think they'll go far in the Champions League, but I think they'll narrowly get Champions League football with the 4th place finish. Next up, I have Manchester United. Jadon Sancho, an amazing signing, and this is why I have them to finish 3rd. I just think that Jadon Sancho is going to be a really good influence on this team. Rafael Varane sounds like a really good signing and really promising from their owners. But if they don't get a CDM, I think they could be in trouble. So 3rd position is what I think they'll get. Next up, in 2nd place, I have Chelsea Football Club. So that means you know my winners, Manchester City. I think Chelsea signing Erling Haaland could automatically change my predictions because I'm a big believer in Erling Haaland and I just think that Erling Haaland is a very good player. But at the moment, with the bids that they're making, like in the likes of Federico Chiesa, Erling Haaland, etc., I just think a 2nd place finish would be a good finish, and I think they'll go far in the Champions League after winning it this year. And for the winners of the Premier League, I've got Manchester City. Manchester City, I just think, have an unbelievable squad, and if they get the likes of Harry Kane and Jack Grealish, that good squad is going to become even better. And I think Manchester City will win the Premier League. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please give me your predictions as well, and you can post them in the comments, or you can post your predictions by downloading this document and doing your own and posting it on your social media, and I will repost it for you. Thank you so much for watching the video, guys, and please come back for my next video that's going to be out soon. Thank you so much. Please like, comment and subscribe to the video.